Good Monday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Monday. I'm your host for South Carolina Weather, Jesse Peterson, and let's talk about the weather for your Monday evening going into your future. Now, looking at the radar right now, not really much going on right now except for just some downpours going on just to the north of Hartsville, as well as just to the north and east of Dillon, also in the north of Rock Hill as well. We also do have some tropical storm watches now up for Berkeley County, South Carolina, and Charleston County. Some storm surge watches in effect for Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, tropical storm watches at Edisto Beach as well. Ridgeland, Hardyville, South Carolina, all the way into Savannah, Georgia. Tropical storm watches are in effect, really below tropical storm force wind, but up to 10 to 20 mile per hour sustained wind with gusts of up to 30 possible in those regions. And then as you go into the storm surge warning or storm surge watch over here, you can see down here near like Beaufort, Edisto Beach, places like that. Still below tropical storm force winds, 25 to 35 mile per hour winds with gusts of up to 45. And in terms of storm surge, 1 to 3 feet above ground. So 1 to 3 feet of storm surge will be pushing into places like Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, Edisto Beach, places like that. So you do have to watch out for that. Let's go on and talk about the entire United States now. As you go on and do that, you can see that we do have pretty much some scattered precipitation going on throughout the west right now, southwest. Also, some rain going on up here inside Michigan, Canada, up here in Maine as well, and down here in Florida. We also do have some shower and storm potential going on down here inside of Florida. And now, as we go on and talk about our cloud cover right now is pretty low and pretty scattered for honestly most of South Carolina. As pretty much again just scattered low, and then as you go into the future, as we continue moving this forward, cloud cover will continue even as we go into tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, even as well, clouds are continuing to pretty much spark up as you get into tomorrow morning into places like the upstate of South Carolina, the Midlands of South Carolina, and even the PD region and the northern low country of South Carolina, possible going into like the late morning, early afternoon. Here's our current temperatures right now: 73 in Columbia, 71 inside Charleston, 73 inside Walterboro, 73 in Fairfax, as well as 73 in Edgefield, 75 inside of Greenwood, 73 inside Anderson, 71 inside Greenville and Spartanburg, as well as 73 in Union, 73 in Rock Hill, as well as 75 in Bennettsville, 77 in Florence, 71 in Loris, and 71 in Myrtle Beach as well. Here's our low temperatures for tonight: 62 inside of Columbia, 63 inside of Orangeburg, 61 inside of Moncks Corner, 69 inside of Charleston, as well as 68 in Hilton Head Island, 65 inside of Myrtle Beach, 64 in Georgetown, 60 in Dillon, 61 inside of Florence, 57 up there inside of Spartanburg, 56 in Rock Hill, 58 Greenville, 59 Anderson, and places like that. Here's our forecast precipitation for the next 24 or so hours just to the south of Greenwood, South Carolina, as well as just to the south of Winnsboro, South Carolina as well. We do have the potential for some rain. Camden also has a threat for maybe 1/100 of an inch to 1/10 of an inch, and everyone around pretty much just to the east and the south of Camden as well does have a shot for some rain. And as you get into the Storm Prediction Center for the next 3 days, South Carolina does have a risk for thunderstorms going into tonight for the PD region of South Carolina, going into just to the south and east of Rock Hill, South Carolina. In terms of excessive rainfall, nothing going on for tonight, tomorrow, and as you go into Wednesday as well, showing the threat for some minor flooding into places like Beaufort, South Carolina, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, places that we were just talking about. As well, go into day 4 and day 5, which is Thursday and Friday. Nothing going on there. Here's the tropics, but before we go on and talk about the tropics, let's go on and talk about the models for the next 48 or so hours. Just for the short term, as you go into tonight, showers and downpours are possible. It's happening right now in the models. Have it painted pretty much accurately. As you can see, even as we go into around 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, even showers and downpours still continuing as well. And then as we continue through there, we get a little bit of a break, and then you can start to see some, honestly, it's not rain, but it is definitely some disturbances going on just to the south of us, and kind of like especially like the heavier clouds as well will start to move over us as we get into early Wednesday morning, as Hurricane Milton, Category 4, is pushing into Florida. And we won't really be seeing any rain, even as of maybe 1 to 2 p.m. is when we'll probably start maybe receiving a couple of showers from Milton. But again, Milton is expected to still keep on going just to the south of us. So not really much in terms of rain, and not really much in terms of wind either. Gusty winds obviously possible, and like I said earlier, minor flooding possible inside of this area right here: Beaufort, Edisto Beach, Hilton Head Island, and Savannah, Georgia. Really, just because of number one, storm surge, and number two, just because of the extra rain that might fall on top of it as well. So now let's go on and talk about the actual tropics. Now here's Milton over here, Hurricane Milton, 180 miles per hour storm right now, 180 miles per hour. And I believe it is 898 millibars, or 897 was the lowest millibar that they have seen so far. And this already, again, 180 miles an hour. This is for sure a very life-threatening, dangerous storm about to go into central Florida as well. Not going to be as strong as, 180 miles an hour. If it was 180 miles an hour when it was hitting Florida, we would probably be talking about more impacts for South Carolina, but it will weaken by then. And in terms of rain as well, rain, again, not really going to bring much to like places like South Carolina. Maybe in isolated inches possible. Half an inch is definitely expected, but an inch is in the questionable category right now. Tropical storm force winds not likely right now, only around 5 to 10%, but we're gonna have to wait and see what happens, because this is still pretty far and it's not even made it to Florida yet. Flash flooding potential pretty much for most of Florida. Damaging flooding is possible for Orlando, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, Miami as well, Key West, and then a slight risk that goes around that as well. Margin risk that goes all the way up into South Carolina over the next, pretty much that goes from now until Thursday morning probably being the main time frame. Key messages here, they're just talking about damaging winds, hurricane force winds, and life-threatening storm surge with destructive waves are expected across portions of the northern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula through tonight. Areas of heavy rain will impact portions of Florida today, well ahead of Milton, with heavy rainfall more directly related to the system expected later on Tuesday through Wednesday night. And then potentially devastating hurricane force winds are expected the west coast of Florida, where a hurricane warning is in effect. Milton is expecting to grow in size and remain an extremely dangerous hurricane when it approaches the west coast of Florida on Wednesday as well. As well as a large area of destructive storm surge will occur along parts of the west coast of Florida on Wednesday as well. And then in terms of wind history right now, again, just hurricane force winds in the dark red, tropical storm force in the orange as well. And that's just what's been going on from now until since Milton has formed, pretty much. And that seems to be that in terms of arrival time for potentially the tropical storm force winds is probably around Thursday night. Or not Thursday night, but Wednesday night. Wednesday night would probably be the most open time frame for any sort of tropical storm force winds to enter through especially the low country of South Carolina, but the coastal low country region as well. That's not just it with Milton either as well. We have 3 other areas that we're watching. Kirk is now gone. Kirk is going up towards Europe now, so not really too much of the National Hurricane Center, at least the Atlantic portion, to really worry about anymore. Leslie is not going to do anything. It's going to pretty much turn into a tropical storm or downgrade into a tropical storm, and it's going to go out to sea. Not really much there. And then we have two other areas of disturbance, one over here, as some additional tropical or subtropical development is possible, while the low moves northeastward to east-northeastward at around 50 miles an hour. And upper level winds are likely to increase by Wednesday, which should limit any further development. And this is right off the coast of Florida in the southwestern Atlantic. Also down here in the far eastern tropical Atlantic, tropical wave is expected to move off the west coast of Africa. Afterward, environmental conditions only appear marginally favorable for some limited development of the system, while it moves westward or west-northwestward across the eastern tropical Atlantic as well. So that seems to be about it for the tropics. Eastern Pacific does have a little area that they're watching for right now. It's over there inside of, just to the west of Mexico right now. Nothing going on inside the Central Pacific either. So we're going to move on, and we're just going to go and talk about the future for the next 300 or so hours. So here it is right here. As you can see, here the date is in the top left corner of your screen. But pushing this forward, you can start to see that Milton is going to be there. It's going to bring some rain, and then it's going to be out of here pretty fast, and then cold temperatures will start to dip down right after the cold front passes by. I'm going to the 14th, the 15th-ish. And then high pressure takes over. I mean, again, and then we have a little, not even, well, I wouldn't say a little area, but a little area of pretty much a development that might turn into a hurricane and going towards Florida again, but this time on the eastern side towards Miami instead. So honestly, at this point, again, this is over 300 hours out, so we don't know what in the world is going to happen between now and this time, and this will definitely change, but something to watch for as we go through to October the 20th, for example, for when it's going to happen, for when it could potentially happen. And I do want to look at the dew points as well, because I do want to see what's going on right now. And you can see that there is a cold front that is still dropping. Here's what it could look like at around 2 o'clock in the morning on October the 8th, which is tomorrow. 2 o'clock in the morning, which is in a couple hours from now, the cold front will be moving through the state. And as you get into around 8 o'clock in the morning-ish, pretty much the cold front will be dropped to the low country of South Carolina, but we'll try to make it, but then warm air from the Atlantic tries to push it away, and then the cold air starts to try and retreat back into the low country of South Carolina, but then Milton will put a little bit of a stop to it, and then the cold air will completely push Milton away, bringing very dry air and some cold air to portions of South Carolina going to October the 10th, going into the 11th, 12th, the 13th as well. Then we might see some more air start to get through as we get into the 14th as well, and then here's the 15th, and very dry air going into South Carolina, going into the 15th and the 16th as well. And in terms of temperatures as well, temperatures going to get into the 50s and 40s, I'd say around 60, 50, but high temperatures still going into the 80s though. So low, high temperatures are definitely dropping here. Definitely dropping in terms of high temperatures as well as it's not really going to be in the 90s anymore. It's going to be in maybe the low to mid 80s now. And then as we get into kind of late October, to where it's over 200 to 300 hours out from now, saying temperatures will be in the 40s. So we'll see what happens. And then after that, as you get into October the 22nd, 23rd, temperatures go back into the 60s and 50s for low temperatures. So again, all over the place. We're gonna see what happens though, and you can even see for this week as well. If you go into the temperature anomaly outlook, you can see that we will be below average in terms of temperatures this week, and then in terms of rainfall, we will be actually below average. We will be below average in terms of rainfall as we go through this week as well. So below average temperatures and below average rainfall. That's usually the sign of a cold front because it brings dry air and some cool conditions with it as well. So that's pretty much that. Let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time as well. So we're going to go on and talk with the audience as well. Mr. Oliver says, good evening, nice day at my house, no complaints. All right, that's good. My name says, hi, Jay. I heard 2 of those plans after I saw yours. I got them today as well. So that's good, honestly. Right now it's not really doing much. I just got some water on it today. So we'll see what happens with that. Also, Mr. Anthony does say, good evening, Weatherman. Good evening to you. My cousin Thad says, good evening, Joseph. Thanks for the forecast. No problem. Trail says, hi, my favorite meteorologist. Hello. And then Breezy Wake says, I asked about cold temperatures for Abbeville, and you said 50s. Well, I saw 40s for this week. I asked so I can protect my garden. The next day after I asked, the next day after I asked you, I saw from, I don't know what WFF is called here. Well, all I can say there is that forecasts can change. I am still an aspiring meteorologist, so I'm not a professional. I am not a professional. So I can make mistakes. I'm not the perfect meteorologist, and I'm definitely not the professional, or not really. I should really say I'm not really like meteorologists out there, like chief meteorologists out there on TV weather stations and people like that. I am still learning. I am in fact still learning, and of course I'm happy with all the growth that I've gotten, around 269 subscribers from when I'm at now. I don't know what it's going to be after that, but but that, and also weather changes as well, and you're not going to be you can't be exactly perfect with stuff like that all the time. So that is my apologies that I did get that wrong, and I will apologize for that. And I hope that I do better in the future in terms of that, and I do apologize for that. But on to a more brighter topic. Let's talk about San Antonio and Raleigh, and then we'll be out of here for tonight. As you go into rainfall as well, not really much going on for the next 48 or so hours or so. And then as you go into temperatures as well, not really any. Well, let's wait for this to load right now. Wait, quick and fast. Also, we do have 12 people watching and 11 likes. Let's go on and hit that like button as well. So let's go on and hit that like button so we can. Well, we already made it to 11 likes already, so I guess let's go on and get it higher, as we still have 12 people in here and only 11 likes. So low temperatures for tonight at around 67, high temperatures tomorrow at around 93, low temperatures tomorrow night at around 70, 64, maybe even 64, 65 even. High temperatures going into your Wednesday at around 90, 91-ish as well. And then as you move over here towards Raleigh, North Carolina as well, move on over here. Low temperatures for tonight seems to be around 56, 55-ish. High temperatures tomorrow at around 69, 70-ish. Low temperatures tomorrow night around 52, 51. High temperatures going to around 70. Again, 70, 71-ish going into your Wednesday. And then in terms of rain as well, let's just do total precipitation because that's better. Not really seeing anything. No precipitation expected for the next 48 or so hours for Raleigh. Here, as you can see from the total precipitation map, last updated at around 3 p.m.-ish. So that seems to be that. Let's talk about some severe weather. Over here, you can see that right now, nothing really going on for Raleigh or San Antonio as well. Nothing going on for tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, anything like that. Nothing's going on. So we're good in terms of all of that. And that seems to be about it. Probably nothing really going on in terms of SBC outlooks as well. If I was to check, no, nothing going on in terms of the SBC outlook for tonight either. So let's go on. Here's your last look at your live radar right here. We do have a couple more chats that we can read real quick before I head out for tonight. Let's read them out. Confucia does say, thanks for the weather update. I'll see if I can spread the stream out and get those subscribers up. Let's break that 300 mark. Again, November the 5th. That's a great thing that let me pin that real quick. I'll pin that to the top for you. But yes, trying to get to 300 subscribers by November the 5th. We're already at 269. We've been stuck at 269 for the past couple of days. So let's go on and get past that and get to at least 270. At least 270 by at least tonight or tomorrow. At least. So we can get to our goal of 300 subscribers easier by November the 5th. And then that says, never apologize for anything you can't control. It's all good. You're doing a phenomenal job. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much. And then, I just see something that says modified climate change. I don't know what in the world that means, but that seems to be it. So I'm going to go on and end it there. If you are, again, new here and you have not hit the subscribe button yet, make sure that you do that. And I will be back tomorrow morning with another forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday.